Kobe Bryant, Cristiano Ronaldo, Serena Williams, and Michael Phelps. If you haven't heard of one, you've likely heard of the other. These athletes are icons, not just because of their extraordinary talent, but because of their relentless mentality, discipline, and unshakable willpower. They are celebrated, highlighted in documentaries, interviews, and even social media, showcasing their tireless work ethic, early morning training sessions, and their ability to bounce back from failures. In the world of sports, mental toughness is highly publicized. But what's the matter with other industries, such as engineering? Data shows in a study analyzing 48 different engineering programs across 5 of the leading European universities that there is a significant lack of resilience-related competencies in engineering curricula. So why is it that the ones who are building the technologies of our future are the ones who are lacking in these aspects, such as resilience and discipline? Because the truth is, engineering requires an equally strong amount of mental strength. The same grit that gets an athlete to the top of their sport is the same grit that gets an engineer to solve complex problems and to design the next state-of-the-art solution. However, most of us are never taught this in our engineering-related courses. For me personally, basketball was what trained my mental discipline, and that translated into resilience in other aspects of my life. Having played on a national championship winning team in Hungary, where I sometimes spent 8 hours a day, 6 days a week during my summers just to perfect every little detail in my gameplay, has been one of the mentally and physically most challenging experiences of my life up to that point. The feeling of those 2 hardest years have stuck with me. It stuck with me so much that it impacted other aspects of my life. It is what made me realize that engineering something is never about, it's not knowing about the right formulas or being in the smartest in the class, but it's not knowing how to stick to something even when it keeps going wrong. Take something as straightforward as a math class, for example. You come across a problem that you don't know how to solve. It can be so frustrating and it can be so annoying. And so the easiest option, naturally, is to just look at the answer key. And sure, you might get the answer that way faster, but you will never own it. The next time a similar problem comes up, it will feel just as foreign. But when you actually sit with the problem, wrestle with it, and try things that don't work, and push yourself through until something clicks, that's when the learning becomes real. And that's when it sticks. In fact, studies have shown that resilience correlates with work engagement as well as job satisfaction. And that's the mentality that engineers don't get awarded for. It's not about never making mistakes. And it's about knowing how to stick to the correct path. And it's about knowing how to stick to the correct path even when things keep going wrong. It's a mental shift from seeing failure as the end to understanding that failure is just part of the process. Every wrong approach isn't a wasted effort, it's just narrowing down what doesn't work. If you eliminate enough wrong paths, you will eventually find the one that works. Just like how Thomas Edison emphasized, I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And honestly, if it wasn't for that mindset, and Edison didn't stumble into the light bulb by chance. It was the result of ridiculous patience, trial and error, and mental stamina. I mean, if we learn more from history, there have been many other instances where resilience has been the key factor. SpaceX, when it first launched, made a bold statement. They were going to colonize Mars and make space travel cheaper. It sounded impossible, so naturally it was met with lots of criticism. In 2006, SpaceX launched their first ever rocket. It exploded in 33 seconds. $30 million burned. A year later, they tried once again, and another failure. Another $30 million gone. By this time, they were already thin on cash. In 2008, they launched yet again, and yet another failure. 3 times in a row, but SpaceX engineers had a completely different perspective. For them, it meant 3 opportunities to learn and grow from. By then, they were nearly out of money. There was one last chance before shutting everything down. They reviewed every failure, worked endless nights to hold the line. Without a guarantee of success, it was hard for them to be motivated. But on the final attempt, Falcon 1 reached orbit. SpaceX became the first ever private company to do it. That success didn't come from flashy breakthroughs. It came from quiet persistence and unwavering belief. James Dyson, the founder of the Dyson vacuum cleaners, also didn't stumble into success overnight. Before achieving success, he built 5,127 prototypes over the span of 15 years. Each one was a lesson of persistence and innovation. His dedication paid off today. Today, Dyson generates over $7.1 billion in annual revenue and employs more than 1,500 engineers worldwide. By now, I hope you've noticed the pattern. The ones who succeed, they just simply don't quit. When I was younger, often people told me, if I give it my all, it's okay to lose. But the reality is, whether it be engineering or any other aspect of my life, success is not always instant. But if you keep showing up, your effort compounds and success becomes almost inevitable. We all face drag, resistance, friction, and pressure in our lives. But drag isn't the enemy. Drag is what makes lift possible. Thank you.